I always wanted to serve on a jury.
I'm really super excited to be here, so I really appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Creating this whole trial daddy.
I want to give a big shout out to the 13th Jury Podcast and Brandy.
Yeah, I applaud you guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
That every time you run into Phil Barber, you should reach for it.
And then I just looked to the jury, and it's sort of like, look.
I was in the eye of the storm, and you guys were watching the storm.
Hey, if you're bored of work, come pop in and say, hey, want some coffee?
You are a ray of sunshine, and I love what you've done with your YouTube channel.
Hello, friends. Hello, family. I'm a couple minutes late. I was talking to the engineer, reconstructionist expert engineer dude. Do I have chapstick? Oh, don't. It's over there, isn't it? Dang. Boy, did he have a lot to say. So, I am a little late. I am sorry for that, but I am here now. I am here now. It is good to see you all. It is good to see you all. And what did he say? He said a lot. And none of it was positive for the prosecution's theory. I'll go over it all in a break it all down in a future episode. Okay, let me say, stop teasing. Too much. It is good to see y'all. It's good to be back. It has been a nice little break. Although it hasn't really been much of a break because I've still been working a ton, just not live. We do not have a jury yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch, there's like I think it's like 8 minutes or something, 7 minutes, from this morning, this afternoon, sometime today, something, where the defense was arguing to have the trial delayed, and they denied it. So we're going to watch that, and we will talk a little bit about this, and then just hang out for a few minutes, and then call it a day, because I'm going to keep working on the podcast episode. Yeah, they haven't seated the jury yet. Hello. Hi. I've missed you all. I've missed you. Hello. Looks like I did have a good weekend. I did. I actually was able to get the podcast episode done last week to where I didn't have to work on the weekend, which was really nice. So I got to spend the whole weekend. Friday, I was at my mom's. Friday was the anniversary of the day. Friday was a tough day. It was the anniversary of the day that my grandfather died, my mom's dad. So I went and hung out with her. It's good to be with family during that time. So I went and hung out with her. And then Saturday, there's a kid who, I say kid, now he's 24 years old, but he was a kid when I met him. Actually, we were laughing about that this weekend. When I met him, the first time I ever met him, I came outside hollering at him because he was one of the neighborhood kids, and he shot one of the airsoft guns at my door, and I went out there and snatched his little honey up. Anyway, he ended up living with me for a while. He had home stuff going on, and he ended up living with me for a while. And we were laughing because I told him to drive. I have pictures of him when he turned 16, teach him to drive my car and stuff. So him and Jacob, they call each other brothers because he was, he was with me for a while, and he came and visited this weekend, which was awesome. Got to see him. So I hung out with him and Jacob a little bit Saturday, and then stayed in pajamas and watched TV Saturday night, and it was amazing. And then yesterday hung out with one of my friends, a couple of my friends. We went to the pool and just relaxed. It was a good weekend. And then last weekend I had my friend's birthday weekend, and that was a blast. This is what rested brain. I know it's crazy how much having a full weekend off helps. I had 2 full weekends off in a row. That was amazing. It was amazing. This is a nice break from the Karen Reed chaos. Chaos is everywhere. Everywhere. Every time you think you're going to get away from it, you're not. They are crazy people. Hello, hello. Hey, girl. Hi, Kathy. Hi. A case I don't know anything about. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. Tori the Seed Lady, member for 11 whole months. We've missed you. I've missed y'all too. I have missed y'all. I have. It is good to see y'all too. Thank you so much, Sinbad. Podcast 21, 22, and 23 are amazing. They took me the longest amount of time, but they are my favorite episodes. They did take forever, but I love them. Kathy, member for 14 whole months. Lord, I miss my 13 Juror fam. Love y'all. I love you too. I have missed you too. I'm glad to have you back. Do you think we have the same situation we did with the Reed one situation as we did on the Reed one of and this I can't read. What are your thoughts? Do you think she's innocent too? Just curious on everyone's thoughts on this case. So we got to go into it presuming innocence and then see how the evidence lays out. So we're going to go in with the presumption of innocence and see what they say. This one's hard. I'm going to be honest. This one's going to be hard because I've seen Doug's daughter's TikTok, and so seeing some of the stuff, you know, from her, and just, I don't know, just seeing some of that stuff, it makes it, I'm going to have to constantly remind myself to, you know, that that's not evidence, and to keep my open mind. It's harder to do that when you have, you know, previous knowledge of stuff, which is why they don't want jurors to have previous knowledge of stuff. Bug Dugger, hello, hello. It's very good to see everyone. Miss you, Brady. I miss you too. Thank you for super chat. Thank you. I've missed you too. Mildred, hello, hello. Hello. Little B, hello. Member for 10 whole months. Great to see you. I missed you, and the mods and members. You look wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful. It has been a good few weeks. I watched Melanie little breakdown yesterday. Not sure how I feel about this case yet. Yeah, I saw some of it. I saw some of her stuff. I didn't get to watch it all. And we're gonna watch just the stuff. And Baker's been doing some background stuff on this too. I know this is one that we've talked about before, that like, I know that it's kind of been one that we've been waiting on. I know that there are other people that are going to be covering it live. I'm not going to do it live. I'm going to do it delayed a little bit. So I'm going to do, so we can speed trial. So we'll start later in the day and then skip the breaks and all that good stuff. All that good stuff. Mildred, member for 6 whole months. Happy to be here. We are happy to have you. Happy to have you. I have no idea on the Black Swan case. I'm so a newbie on it. So the pretrial stuff is interesting. The messiness of all of it is interesting, but you know, even like she thought she was saying that Doug was poisoning her, and they did testing, like hair follicle testing and everything, and there's no signs of that. I don't know, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. I've missed you too. I've missed you too. I got called for jury duty on 9/23. All I know is it's a criminal trial, but I don't think anything big. Oh, tell them you're a 13th juror. I'm glad I'm totally blind about this case. Miss Cynical here will be unbiased for once, maybe. This is a very sensitive topic when it comes to victims of domestic violence. Yes, it is. It is. This one's a tough one. It's a tough one. Susie, member for 7 whole months. Hey, Brandy, greatest mods in chat, our happy place. Yes, this is our happy place. Happy, happy place. I prefer speed trialing too. True Crime Ranch, it's your birthday? Birthday? Hi, 80s. Red Pin, member for 14 whole months. This is truly our happy place, isn't it? It really is. It really is. I love it. All of that nastiness outside of here is, it gets annoying. I love our little bubble, our little happy bubble. Hello, hello. Jasmine Greer, member for 13 whole months. Happy for the family to be back together again. Me too. According to Woo, member for 12 whole months, 1 whole year feels like 84. It's been 84 years. I know a lot about this case and I'm judging Ashley harshly. That's the thing, is like, if you've watched any of the pretrial stuff, and like if you've listened to anything from Doug's daughter Eva, and gone through some of that stuff, it's hard to go into this without a formed opinion. So I'm going to have to constantly remind myself of that on this one, because going into it without, you know, I'm not perfect, and I'm going to struggle maybe sometimes, but I'm going to try. It is harder when you go through a lot of the pretrial stuff on some things, but they have to prove her beyond a reasonable doubt. So we'll see how it all unfolds. I don't like her. I can say that. I don't like her. I think too, because a lot of the stuff with his daughter, you know, hearing her and things that she says, it's just hard to, I feel so bad for her, and hearing the things she says, it's like, you just, makes it hard to not just want to have her back. Let's see. What does his daughter say? If y'all get a chance, check her out on TikTok. She's funny. She uses like she has kind of like a dark sense of humor, which I tend to have a very dark sense of humor too, about like things that that I've been through, you know, so I can kind of relate to that, as far as like using that as like a kind of a coping mechanism, you know. But she has, I can't remember how many it is, but she has like a bunch of TikToks where she kind of goes in order telling, you know, her story and stuff. Yeah, we can't convict on how we feel about someone, which is why I am going to keep my open mind. The trial will start when they seat the jury. Last I looked, they were still working on that today, or just a few minutes ago. They had not set the jury yet. So we will start, depending on when they start. It may be tomorrow. Yeah, his daughter is amazing. Very strong girl. So, her mom, so Doug was out of town working, and Eva was getting home from school, I think, and she walked in, and her mom had like heart issues, and I think is what it was, and she walked in and she found her mom unresponsive, and I cannot even imagine how difficult that would be. So she lost her mom. Her dad, Doug, who is the victim in this case, told her that, you know, she said that he told her basically like, you know, it's going to be me and you. I'm going to focus on you, like kind of that he wasn't going to date. And then 9 months later, he met Ashley, and they had like 13-day whirlwind romance, and then got married. And when they got married, he didn't tell his daughter, or really hardly anybody, but he married Ashley after 13 days. So he went back to tell Eva and said something about a family meeting, and she was like, well, you know, she's not family, so we don't really need to have a family meeting. The only thing you need to tell me about her is if you decide to get engaged. And then he told her, well, we're married. So they did not have a great relationship. Eva and Ashley were not the most fond of each other, apparently. But they had, there was one situation where they were fighting, and Doug shot a gun like in the house. I think it was at the ceiling, if I remember right. I have to refresh myself on all this before we start tomorrow, but I've got notes on this from different, I have to find them. I think they're saved on my laptop, actually. But anyway, he shot a gun like at the house or whatever, like I guess to kind of scare. She said too that she was being poisoned, and she went to the police and said that she was being poisoned, and that he was trying to kill her. So they did the testing there. She did testing at the hospital, and there was no sign of it. Yeah, 13 days of texting. He's 30 years older than her. He was 54 and she was 24. So she was only 9 years older than Eva at the time. And anyway, she got all the testing done to try to prove that he was poisoning her, and everything came back, you know, negative, that there was no evidence whatsoever of him doing anything like that. But she insisted. She actually got pregnant. She had, I think he had a vasectomy and had it reversed, if I remember right. And she got pregnant like pretty much immediately, and they founded a ballet company together, she was the dancer. He didn't know anything about it, knew literally nothing about it. and he helped her develop this ballet company. And so they hired all these dancers and brought all these dancers in and told them to get apartments at this fancy, apartment building or whatever. And they were going to have a dance studio in the you're doing great so far with this recap. Thank you, Kathy, because I'm doing this all on memory because it's been a while since I've researched it. I haven't had a chance. So if I miss anything, Kathy's got your all your scoop for you. But they founded this ballet company because it's what she wanted to do. This was her dream. He knew nothing about it. And then she got pregnant and got sick. And the ballet company was supposed to be very inclusive, all types of dancers. So like there wasn't going to be none of that, like you're too tall or you're too short or whatever. It was going to be for everybody. And she got pregnant, and so she ended up, I guess she was sick during her pregnancy, and so she kind of just wasn't involved in the ballet company. So they brought in all of these dancers, and then it was kind of like, oh yeah, never mind. We aren't actually going to do anything. And they had, I think like fired half of them like pretty much immediately. And then, I can't remember what happened to the rest of them, but they ended up not doing anything with it because she kind of ditched. And then they went back and forth for a while. She was from Florida, and he lived in like Charleston area, I think, if I remember right. And so she moved to Charleston to be with him when they got married. And then she left and went to her mom's back in Florida. When she got pregnant or right after she had the baby? I think it was when she was still pregnant, right? If I'm wrong, then somebody will correct me. Okay, so it was during her pregnancy. Okay, so she was still pregnant. So she moved back with her mom. They ended up going kind of, they did put on a show. See? Chat summary thinks Brainy's describing a TV show. Basically. Oh yes, because he didn't know when she had the baby. Oh yeah. 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 And then because of the whole, her saying that he was poisoning her thing. Remember when I had to go through treatments at the beginning of the year? And remember I had to do hyperbaric oxygen treatments were part of what I had to do. It was like 40 days of it or something crazy. It was like 2 months. I think it was 40 days. I don't know. It was 2 months, like 8 weeks or something like that. So she did the same thing, which is supposed to help with poisoning, even though there was no sign of poisoning. And she had the baby do it too. It's crazy. He didn't see the baby until she was 6 months old. Coffee Star 62, welcome. Welcome. I'm with the theme. The mother is involved, like Donna Adelson. Yeah, I remember there being weird stuff with the mom. Like, not, I guess just over involved type stuff. I'm just tuning in after work. My gifted membership expires, so I joined myself. Excited to support your excellent work. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. 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 The treatments aren't difficult. It's just time consuming and they make you so tired. Like so tired. Because you're in there, I can't remember how long. I think it's like 3 hours total that, let's see, I would get there at like 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I would get there about 8 and leave about 11. So, I mean, it's it's like forever. I mean, that's what mine were. I don't know that she's doing the same thing, or if she did the same thing, but it's just, they're exhausting. Excited to see what speed trialing is like. Yes. I love speed trialing. I love speed trialing. Hello. So what else? What did I miss? They went through custody issues, battles, back and forth. I think she had finally agreed. I really should have looked all this up in my notes before I did this, but that's okay. I think she agreed. I remember there being something about she was all of a sudden, like being nice again or something, and not fighting him on things as much, which was kind of weird. And I think they were going to move her stuff, and she was planning on coming back to, I was about to say Chicago. Lord help me. Charleston. And when that happened, she shot him, and the neighbor called 911. She talked to the neighbor and said that she shot him in self-defense. They were going to Maryland. Oh, see, don't remember that. But they were going to get back, well, I guess, or at least that's what she told him, that they were going to get back together. And then she ended up shooting him. She told the neighbor it was in self-defense. She told the police it was in self-defense. They did a stand your ground hearing, and it was denied. The stand your ground, remember when we did Travis's trial, that he had the stand your ground hearing as well, and where it's basically they're wanting you to dismiss the case because it was self-defense. You had the stand your ground in Florida, and meaning that you won't be charged if it meets those qualifications, that you were in fear of your life and somebody was coming at you, and it can be like in your own home or in your own like car space, whatever. And there's more specifics too, like it can't be while you're committing a felony and stuff like that, but that's basically what the details on it are. And so the judge denied that, which just means, it doesn't mean that he's saying it's not self-defense. It just means that he's not dismissing the charges. He's going to let a jury decide. So they were going through the custody stuff at the time, and oh, here you go. Broca Baker pew-pewing him 3 days before a custody hearing where they were supposed to withdraw charges against each other. So, yeah, she's using the stand your ground law. She's using the self-defense. But see, the judge denied to dismiss it with stand your ground, which, like I said, doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be self-defense. It just means that he's letting a jury decide instead of dismissing the charges. So crazy stuff. Welcome back. Welcome. So I'm going to be doing it speed trialing in the afternoons. But if you want to watch it live and then come speed trial with us later, I'm totally down for that. Baker's going to be doing it live, and RA is going to be doing it live. So, and then we're going to speed trial and see what we pick up on and what we think. Go through all that stuff. I love speed trialing. I love being able to speed trial because you can skip through the breaks and the sidebars and all that good stuff. Sea Screamer's out there, so we're about to hear the cannon. Actually, you might not, because I have the sound cancellation stuff on. They're out there. They're going to shoot the cannon. Love me some speed trialing. Love me a speed trial. It's the best. It's the best. Okay, I will show you This is only like 7 or 8 minutes. This was their attempt to have the trial delayed. And they said, well,
my last motion, if I may. Yes, sir. Your Honor, this is a motion for the court to voluntarily disqualify itself. And if the court would be kind enough to allow me to make my record, I'd appreciate it. This is an appeal to the court's sense of honor, integrity, and to the oath that the court took when sworn into the office that it now holds to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, specifically the Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial, and the Florida Constitution's Due Process Clause in Article 1, Section 9 of the Florida Constitution. The court's order of September 18, 2023, denying Ms. Benefield's request for judicial immunity, on page 26 in the third paragraph, Your Honor, reads as follows. Considering the totality of the competent and substantial evidence admitted during the stand your ground hearing, the state has proven by clear and convincing evidence that the victim's homicide was not a singular act of necessary self-defense, but was instead the culmination of a lengthy, concerted effort by the defendant to eliminate the victim from her life and the life of their child. When the defendant's efforts to enlist the assistance of law enforcement, child protective services, and the judicial system failed, she took matters into her own hands, as she told Dr. Broder she would. Now, had the court issued a neutral order that would have or should have read that the state has met its burden by clear and convincing evidence for purposes of the request for judicial immunity and the defendant's motion is denied, it would have gone on and said whether the shooting was justified is a question of fact to be properly submitted to a jury at the trial of this matter. How can Ms. Benefield possibly receive a fair trial with the conclusion that the court reached in that order? Make no mistake, that order says Ms. Benefield is guilty of the crime with which she is charged. Ironically, we're here this morning to select jurors, and the court is going to instruct them that they are to presume Ms. Benefield innocent of the charges against her. How in the world can we expect that of the jury when the court cannot extend that presumption and honor it based upon what the court's words, not ours, what the court wrote in its order? That conclusion specifically, Judge White, help explain why at this stage the court has, among other things, quashed defense witness subpoenas and told the defense they can prove it some other way when it's our case and our right to a fair trial, and we decide the best manner in which to present our case within the rules of evidence and criminal procedure. Why, Your Honor, has denied Jack O'Keefe from assisting me in the trial of this case, and why the court at the last hearing that we had on its own suggested to the court that perhaps the right action on behalf of the court would be to file, on behalf of the state, would be to file a Daubert challenge. The record of that hearing will specifically note that the defense requested a Daubert challenge in response to the state's motion. The state never did. The court suggested that to the state at that hearing, and lo and behold, the very next day, the state filed a motion requesting a Daubert challenge. As the court knows, according to Florida Statute 3810, you can move to recuse the court based upon demonstrated bias or prejudice. Rule 2.330 of the Florida Rules of General Practice in Judicial Administration likewise provides for the disqualification of the trial judge. Now, here's the problem. There's a time limitation. It's imposed in the Rules of Judicial Administration and the case law. And frankly, I missed it. And I missed it because at the time the court entered its order on September 18th, 2023, it was quite some time following the stand your ground hearing, and we were not only focused on filing the appeal, but by the time the appellate court acted and the second DCA denied our motion, I had just missed it. And I take responsibility for that. That therefore is why I asked the court, based on its order, to voluntarily take the high road and step aside voluntarily and give, in doing so, objective recognition to the oath Your Honor took to support and defend our constitutions, which includes, as the court knows, an opportunity for a fair trial by an accused, by an impartial jurist. So I asked the court to do the right thing. There's no getting around what the court wrote in that order.
Would you like to be heard?
Judge, I would just like to say that in a stand your ground hearing, the court is the trier of fact, and the court does need to make factual findings. And the fact that that is being held against the court, I think, is quite unfair. The court is not the trier of fact in a jury trial. The jury is. There has been nothing in the court's rulings to show any animus towards this defendant. I quite frankly think this is the defendant's MO. This is what she does. When someone doesn't agree with her or a judge does not agree with her, she does a motion to recuse. I feel like this should have been done a year ago if it was going to be done. It was only done at this late time because of the court's rulings did not go in the defense's favor, and this is their last-ditch effort. The state would also say, if the court was inclined to grant this, that we just flip-flop judges right now and start this trial this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any final thoughts on your motion?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Any final thoughts on your motion?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
In Manatee County, jury select.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So that was tech. So obviously, it didn't work. But these are hurting my head today. So yeah, the judge's face. Look at, oh yeah, that's actually like the perfect screenshot right there of like the perfect still of his face, facial expression. Like, excuse me, what? So funny. So plan is, we will keep an eye on if it starts tomorrow. He's like, what? Yeah. That really is like the best. Oh wait, I'm pointing the wrong way. I forgot. It's inverted. It's Sally ported. It really is like the best face. So we will keep an eye on it tomorrow. I'll also, I've got some more work to do on the podcast tonight. So I'm going to be working on that this evening, and part of tomorrow. But when but we'll be doing speed trialing. So what we will do is, I'll pull my notes. I'm pretty sure that they're on my laptop. So I'll pull all of my notes that I have on this and go over it too, so that anything that I forgot, we can remember. Sally ported. That's the new term for inverted. Speaking of Sally ported, so I talked to the engineer, and it was funny because I had sent him all the information that's available, and he was looking at it, and he was he was like, I don't know how this trooper is qualified as an expert to talk about the Toyota Tech Stream stuff. He's like, it's really complicated stuff, and if he didn't even know about it the year before, then you know, he wouldn't, he shouldn't be, and based on what he had said, you know, it shouldn't be qualified as an expert. Also, he said that the Toyota Tech Stream stuff is not supposed to be for crash reconstruction. Like, that's not what it's for. So it's kind of like a misuse of the stuff. And he was saying a lot of the same thing that the other experts said, that, you know, that the way that he's saying what happened and basing it on, you know, the Tech Stream stuff, he said that doesn't make sense at all. Just I I took a ton of notes and got all of it, and he said I can quote him, so I'll get it all together and put it in one of the upcoming episodes. It won't be this week, but maybe next week's episode. He said something about too. He said that if the defense ends up bringing in somebody who actually knows about the tech stream stuff, then they could challenge what Trooper Paul said about it and probably have his ability to testify on it like thrown out because he doesn't actually know how to read it. And he gave some interesting information on how to read it and kind of the misrepresentation of how Trooper Paul read it. So it's really interesting stuff, really, really interesting stuff. All I was asking about was like just the tech stream stuff, but he's a reconstruction engineer, and he does he's got like 20 years almost working with the Toyota tech stream stuff. So, I was expecting him to just answer me on the tech stream stuff, but he was awesome, and he spent a lot of time going over it. He said that the more he started looking into it, the more interesting it was to him because nothing was making sense. So he said that as nothing was making sense, he kept looking, kept digging. So I was like, yeah, that's how we all were. That's how we all were. So interesting stuff. It just is. It just is. That's all you need to know. The first Crash Daddy was an expert on tech stream, but Judge Canoni didn't allow it. Yeah, because they didn't have the Crash Daddies didn't have the tech stream information when they did their testing, and they had which I would love for them to, like, if they're sometime before now and the next trial, if they gave them that and, let them see if it made a difference. But the engineer that I talked to was saying that, yeah, none of it really makes sense. Oh, and also, he was talking about the Searle method, the pedestrian throw formula, and he asked about the calculations that Trooper Paul did, and I was like, yeah, there weren't any, because he said that it would greatly underestimate the speed of the vehicle or something. He's like, that's not how that works. He said you should have, like, you do them and then you see if it's consistent with, projection and stuff like that. And if it is, then fine. And if it's not, then something's off and you have to figure something out. So it's just, it's really interesting stuff. Really interesting stuff. So, yeah, we didn't come here to math. Didn't come here to math. I wish that County Defense could contact Creighton Waters. I know the Murdoch, in Murdoch, they got the report directly from GM. Was hard to get arrived during the trial, but directly from manufacturers more accurate. The problem is, the stuff that's coming from, well, they did that chip away thing where, when they couldn't get the information from the black box, they did the thing that destroys it as they're like chipping away, trying to get it, and it ended up destroying it. So they couldn't get, I guess they can't get anything from it now anyway, but they weren't able to get anything from it. But the Toyota tech stream stuff is not actually used as, it's not actually supposed to be used for the, gosh, I can't form my words today, for crashes and wrecks and reconstruction stuff, which I thought was really interesting. I'm excited for there to be more time to work with the Fed witnesses. Me too, because I would love to hear, more of what they have to say. And maybe in the next trial, their stuff won't be so limited. If the Feds, and Mark was saying this earlier on stream, if the Feds lift that, order to where they're not allowed to talk about it and let them actually talk about it, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I missed it. I missed Be Kind Tiger. I don't know what happened. I missed it, but whatever it is, prayers are with you. Yes, and happy birthday, True Crime Ranch. Happy birthday. I love to see them doing a demonstration. I think anything that could help the jury see one way or another would be beneficial. Oh, I'm sorry, Be Kind Tiger. I will add him to the prayers. Justice Obsessed, happy late birthday to you. Happy late birthday to you. It's Searle formula. So the Searle formula is to determine how fast the car was going based on the projection. But he said that you kind of take that and you do the calculations on it and then, kind of go from there. But it's not, and all the research I did on it too, everything is said, it's something that you can use in conjunction with other evidence, like even like lengths of skid marks and stuff like that. Like it's something that you use other things to help verify, but it's not something that you can just rely on. So, math. He didn't come here to math. It's funny too, because I had, when he was talking to me, he said something about, now he hasn't seen the Crash Daddies, so he's seen none of that. But he said something to me about, like, it's just physics. You can't argue with the physics. And I was like, I'm sorry, say that again. Can I quote you on that? Same thing Crash Daddy said. Trooper Paul is a prime example of how little knowledge can be a dangerous thing. I agree. It's dangerous. You shouldn't have people up there talking about things that they aren't super confident in, or that they don't know well enough. Oh gosh, can you imagine Trooper Paul coming back for the second trial? He's going to be practicing for the next 6 months. Watch how quickly and smoothly the Black Swan trial goes. The judge is I think it will. Glad you're digging in because devil is always in the details. I say that all the time. The devil's in the details. Appreciate you. I thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I just like to get the whole picture. See what all we can find out. Get it. If you get as much information as possible, it helps to decide on what you think. I thought the formula was pretty broad and requires some secondary calculations to validate it, and it can't be used as a standalone hypothesis. Yeah, that's what I was saying a little bit ago. Like it's something that's used in conjunction with something else, like not just all by itself. So any of the other evidence that they can figure out too, like the only one I remember was like the length of the skid marks. If there's skid marks on the road, that was one of the examples of other things that you would use in conjunction with it to kind of figure stuff out. So, alrighty. Okay, well, I guess we will call it a day for now. I'm not sure. I got some more work I need to get done today. I will keep an eye on how things go tomorrow. Yes, I will ask him, Lindsay Hendricks. I will keep an eye on jury selection, everything tomorrow, and I'll set up the stream sometime tomorrow so that way we can kind of see how it goes and figure out what time we'll be doing it and all that. I won't stay up too late. I have been trying to get more sleep. That is like, I have made, I told my friends to hold me accountable to like, that I needed to get more sleep and work closer to more normal hours, limit my 18-hour days, and try to get more balance in my life. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. We'll see how it goes. Jackie D, member for 11 whole months. 11 whole months. Happy anniversary. Bridget, welcome. New member, welcome, welcome. You live here now. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, if they do a new trial, we get more crash daddies. I loved them. I just loved how effortlessly they were able to explain everything. That was awesome. Nice to see everyone. See, I am really glad to be back. It has been I enjoy getting to interact with y'all. I love doing the podcast. I do. I love it so much. But I do love our chats because it's a lot more personal. I get to actually chat with y'all and hear your thoughts on everything and what are we thinking? What are we feeling? All that good stuff. I love it. So I'm glad. I'm glad. And I'm looking forward to speed trialing. Something other than Karen Reed. We'll see how it goes. But all right, y'all. I appreciate it so much. I will get the stream set up tomorrow when we figure out more of what is going on. True Crime Ranch, happy birthday. Just Obsessed, happy late birthday. And Be Kind Tiger, prayers coming your way. All right. Y'all are the best ever. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow.
I gotta go. I can't stick around here forever.
Everybody was wonderful. Everybody behaved. Everybody's always so nice to me.
Just love your channel and
Swan.
Goodbye, good people. Now, how the heck do I get out of here?